What's up, Junkies? Welcome back to Culture Junkies Live. I'm Kishiro. This is the Great Dr. Kuji. This is
Mega Sean.
And as Simon says, we are here. We're going to be talking about the state of play. We're going to be talking about WWE. We're going to be talking about Superman and Fantastic Four. And we're going to be responding to some of the comments out there on TikTok. But first and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys out there for helping us on our YouTube channel break the threshold. We are at 2,500 subscribers.
Hello.
As of today.
We don't have no.
We don't have no.
I'll drink to that.
No, yeah, I didn't have time.
there?
I literally just saw it like before we went live, so I didn't have time to set nothing.
There's no alcohol.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Slacking.
sorry.
You gotta have it. Yeah.
You gotta get,
Yeah.
yeah, got that. I'll set that up for next time.
And the Undertaker one.
Yeah, so we're on the path right now. It starts right now. The grind to get to 3,000 starts right now.
It does.
So
Awesome.
Bring all of your friends. Come on over here to Culture Junkies Live. You know, we got a lot of really great live streams. We got unboxings. We got reviews and all this. And, of course, great commentary, hanging out with a bunch of friends. The other Steve, hello to you, sir. What?
For every 10,000 we get, the great Mega Sean will remove an article of clothing.
Do you want them to keep signing up, right?
Oh, they will.
Oh, they will.
When this come off, they will know that T'Challa lives, my friend.
Popping out like
T'Challa lives, my friend.
Doing that Terry Crews popping the pecs.
Listen, Terry Crews got it from me.
Okay.
He just had the spotlight. He saw me. He saw me at a LA pool one time, and then all of a sudden, that's how they do it.
Oh man,
that's how they do it.
You know, man. You know, we're this isn't quite mature audiences, but relating some of them LA stories that you got.
I tried to tell you. Nobody believed
man, I'm telling you.
I tried to tell you.
The Diddy parties thing, y'all think that junk is fake? Man, he knew about that like 20 years ago.
I tried to tell you.
Yeah,
Nobody
man,
wanted to listen to me.
it was something else. Anyway, so let's not waste any time. We got a lot of stuff to get to. Let's start with State of Play. So State of Play, it's about 5 p.m. this afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. State of Play hit. And it dropped a lot of games that people were really excited about. I know there's a lot of things I'm excited about. First and foremost, probably everybody's talking about the Marvel 4v4 game by Arc System Works.
Tokun, I think it's called.
Tokun.
Yeah. That's a weird name.
It is a weird name.
And I mean, maybe it means something for the Japanese. It doesn't for us. But I guess we're just going to be calling it Tokun.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a anime styled 4v4 Marvel game. No other property, no other IPs, no Capcom.
Marvel.
It's just Marvel. No Street Fighter. It's just Marvel. When you guys saw that trailer, what'd you think?
Riding the wagon that Marvel rivals has allowed them to, and more than likely using that energy to then jettison this forward, hopefully. From them. That's what I'm imagining.
Right.
That's why they're doing it.
If they start putting like the skins and the characters from Marvel,
for sure.
in there, the game's
yeah.
gonna blow the
For
fuck
sure.
up.
And then if they have the thighs out and the cleavage from
yeah.
Frost and all that, you gotta.
Well, we only saw like a couple characters, but
We saw eight. We saw eight.
Eight characters so far. Now, like we were saying, I'm pretty sure I guarantee you before the game actually maybe like hits shelves, we will see it in Evo. It'll probably be one of those games, like a surprise game that they did with like the
Evo's
first Street Fighters.
Yeah,
I think because the first couple of Street Fighters they did that they through that. It was Street Fighter 4. That was a game that they showed at Evo. Then they did it with 5 and 6. So I can see them doing that, but time will tell. But it will be interesting to see how interactive that game is. Because what was it? Infinite wasn't that. It wasn't that game.
The less said about Infinite, the better.
I played the demo.
I did too, and I think I was done. Yeah, I was done as soon as I played that.
I want to
demo.
buy it and put it in my collection because
of course.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just to have just all of them on there, they're a little pretty. You got to wipe the dust off.
Whatever works for you. That's great. I do have a question for y'all though.
What's that?
Is this a dying genre?
Fighting games?
Yes.
Oh yeah. 100%. But
dying. What do you mean by dying?
Well, he said 100%. You said.
What do you mean by dying? I don't see that.
Not as many people are playing it as they used to. Because back when we were younger, we used to play the hell out of fighting games.
Right. Because people was throwing them quarters. Now it's kind of.
fight games are still pretty popular because you got the tournaments going around all over,
Right.
all
For
that
sure,
stuff. And
for
I think
sure,
it's probably
for sure.
bigger now. But all you hear about is people complaining how Tekken's not doing well, and Street Fighter it might be doing well, but Mortal Kombat is sucking, and everything that's coming out, and everybody only talks about the big three. Nobody really talks about because there's a lot of other fighting games that are out there that are probably fun to play, but people are playing them. It's just that our community here, us here, we're not playing fighting games like we used to.
Correct. So that's why I was.
For me to say it, okay, in my eyes, I would say fighting games are kind of
okay. I can see your point, and
it's my point.
I mean, no, the point that he made about his big. You didn't say they were dying. You asked the question. You asked the question. I said,
because I don't play fighting games,
correct.
But I know that I don't hear any buzz.
That's true. So the reason here's why I say I agree.
For sure.
I agree with what you're saying and what you're saying. Since you have to be a little bit of a jerk
Since
about
I
it, is
said
my
it.
point. Anyway, what I'm trying to bring up is that I think what we're facing here is that there's not enough innovation, right?
Okay.
There's a little bit of stagnation in the fighting game genre right now. Tekken 7 was really great. Tekken 8 is kind of more of the same, right?
Why?
This always happens.
To any of y'all.
This always happens.
It's the level of entry to try to get in.
Yeah.
Two things. First off, I like fighting games. I've been playing them for an extremely long time.
Yes, yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Street Fighter 2, I was enthralled. Yeah. And to try to get into fighting games back then was difficult because internet and people gatekeep like a motherfucker. You know how long it took me to find out how to do Shoryuken? Yeah. Nobody would tell you how to do it, and I just kind of figured it out regardless of that. But fighting games now, people are really, really good. I don't even think I can get back in and do hardly anything. And I used to go to tournaments back in the day and actually be decent enough to get into certain, places or whatever. But today, I think I get my ass kicked, and I would have to put so much time into it to try to even become close to competing, in my honest opinion. But first-person shooters, I think, is an easier entry than it is.
100%.
Not being that they're hard to play or easy to play, I think they're easier to pick up. Fighting games are 100%.
And then before you go, I want to add this to it so then you can answer all. Is this game free?
No. Pretty sure it's not.
How much of it do you think, as far as it dying, as I was asking, is because of the price point? So
it's
less that, more because again, it's very
totality.
It's less that, it's more technical. I think what Dido brings up about the skill it takes in order to get into fighting games versus the skill it takes to get into first person shooters, it's a vast disparity between the two, right? I think fighting games are very flashy, right? But it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of time, really, to get involved and get acclimated to some of these fighting games and these characters.
But hold on, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. But one thing to add on, because you mentioned price, I think for me at least, yes, I haven't bought Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, or Mortal Kombat because I don't like that. I don't like the season stuff.
Oh, the DLC. I can see that.
I like being able to open up characters, and I know that's gone. That whole idea of playing a game and opening up characters is gone. You got to buy these seasons. So you pay $70 for the game, or how much it is.
70.
And then the seasons, I have how much.
$25, $30.
There you go. And then they do multiple seasons.
Yeah.
So you paying, and people complain about $80 Nintendo games.
By the time it's over, you're paying like $300 or $400.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm just don't want to do that.
But here's a caveat to that, because I think the games, the pricing, it's not that, because you can wait a good a couple years, you can get the whole entire season for free.
Yeah, 100%. Because Mortal Kombat, they're doing that with Mortal Kombat right now.
Because that happened to me. I actually, I waited a good whole year in Samurai Showdown. I got the whole season for free.
Yeah, so who's playing Samurai Showdown now?
Right, and that's the problem.
And the thing is, though, to your point too, I kind of disagree because the games are kind of like, the genre is kind of like meh, but there are a lot of people are still playing fighting games. For sure. They're still having tournaments and everything. Case in point, Awfuls, he plays fighting games. I mean, I haven't picked up one in a while, but I mean, here's the thing. Like, there hasn't been one that actually caught my attention just yet. But however, when that game right there, I actually might jump back in because, like I said, when you invest in like certain characters, like especially like Marvel, that's like a gold mine right there. And another niche thing is like, yeah, certain games will have like a certain shelf life. Like, you know, I would say Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat hit its apex, and then right now it's kind of like,
yeah, it's on a downswing.
It's on a downswing. But there are still nostalgia people that will go out and play it. Go out, you know. There are those people that still have that passion and that you know, that drive. Like, oh man, I've been playing Mortal Kombat since day one. I'm not gonna stop.
Right.
You got those diehard fans. You got the diehard Street Fighter fans. You got, or just like diehard fighting game fans in general.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it's going to die out because it's one of those genres that you can, even though it's the building blocks are the same, it's like the innovation of like how you create your fighting game system, your building block, how it's like, you know, the 4v4 or just like, okay, we're gonna add special martial arts, like, you know, like Tekken, how they incorporate capoeira for the first time. No one's ever seen that in a fighting game.
Right.
Wing Chun, no one's ever seen that. Virtual Fighter. Virtual Fighter is an awesome game. I can't wait for that game. It's
me
like,
too.
It's like one of those fighting games where it's like you're really getting invested in the actual characters.
And it gets back to what my point about certain fighting games now, the industry, there's a lack of innovation. I think with this game being 4v4, which is completely different than any of the other tags, most of the tags have been either 2v2 or 3v3.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done 4v4.
Yes.
That's different.
That is
so that's going to set it apart. That's going to be something different. Now, getting on to other things in State of Play, right? One thing, the other thing, we were just talking about this, and this is related to fighting games, that PlayStation Fight Stick that they just released. Now that, okay, it's wireless. If it's Bluetooth, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
If it's not Bluetooth, I'll be scared.
It's more than likely going to be Bluetooth, but still, from my understanding, it is Sony. Sony apparently is making it.
Yeah.
But there is, it could be, well, okay. Again, haven't played
we'll
fight games in a long time, but that lag that I hear
we got to see what the lag's going to be like.
It's got to be.
There are Bluetooth sticks that are out there, but
Yeah.
people don't want to use them because just the smallest little bit.
Oh yeah,
Between
throw you off.
winning and losing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference between winning and losing.
The
Yeah.
other thing is too, well, you said Bluetooth lag, but also I'm worried about is the battery life. Because them controllers, them controllers,
That's a lot of
'cause, like,
input. Yeah.
they
Should have been
battery
like
life-
Xbox.
But how would it? But how would it be?
Pop the batteries
But
right
how
here.
would it be any different than the battery life of a DualShock? You know, a DualShock, you can do a whole bunch of inputs, and that battery will last you for hours. I can't.
You talking
see
about
it
the
being-
DualShock 5 or
Yeah.
the DualSense rather?
Yeah, the DualSense, yes.
The DualSense, my brother says Waffle says compared to the Elite, the battery life in the Elite lasts longer than the actual DualSense.
I think it's like 20 years. 20 years.
20
Like-
years.
Like,
Jesus,
20
man. I ain't
hours.
charging this
20
thing
hours,
forever.
20
Yeah.
hours to 5 hours or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, but again, battery life is battery life. You're right. The battery life on that needs to be addressed. Let's get back to some of the games, right? What are some of the other games that you guys saw that are new that you're super excited for? Let's start. Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, that new Ninja Gaiden. The 2D.
yeah, the
They were
2D.
playing a
Oh,
remix
man.
of the music. I was like, man, I like Ninja Gaiden. Have since the NES days. You know, played all of them. Haven't finished all of them, but that one looks like it's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was is it 2-player co-op? They said.
I don't know, and I won't be playing anything 2-player co-op. But that's
Me either.
yeah.
I
Me
don't
either.
like the idea of a platformer 2-player co-op because you gotta wait for people.
We could play together. Don't be like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right.
Don't
There
be
is
like- don't be
nothing
like
wrong
that.
with that except for when somebody
dies.
Now it's different. Now I'm not saying that we're not on each other's skill level because we've been playing video games for a
Forever.
very long
Yes.
time, right?
Yes.
But have you ever played? It was New Super Mario Brothers, a 4-player one with people, or Super Mario Wonder.
I know
and you're
it's-
playing
or-
multiple.
Or Four Swords. Legend of Zelda.
Well, I didn't
Four
play
Swords.
Four Swords. Four Swords is different because you got puzzles that you got. And I'm talking about platformers where somebody gets left behind and you're waiting for what the heck they're going, and then they pop up in a bubble. It's just like, come on, man! I'm trying to run through this and I can't run through it because I want to be by myself. I'm gonna play platformers like that.
Yeah.
Now 3D platformer, you could probably play 2-player on two separate things.
And we
But a
can
2D
stream it.
platformer, huh?
We could stream it.
Almost definitely. I mean,
There you go.
I'm not opposed to trying that.
For sure,
But
for
if
sure.
you start leaving me behind.
No.
Shit. Or if I start leaving, you be like, motherfucker, you can't make this jump. No.
I'm gonna be like this. Go to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Give him a attention up one more time.
Speaking
I bleed you.
Speaking of ninjas, what did you guys see or got any comments on what is apparently going to be an open world Neo 3.
I didn't look at that video. I was gonna look at the video, but I did see the Neo 3.
Yeah,
I haven't touched Neo 1 and 2 yet. So
yeah, it looks like it's going to be open world, which Neo 1 and 2 being stage driven. I think it being open world as opposed to being on a stage opens up a lot of possibilities. It reminds you of a Souls-like ninja style Ghost of Tsushima, maybe, because it's set still in that area and that era, and you're fighting demons and stuff all the time in the open world. I think it could be pretty cool. Another game I was personally excited for is obviously Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Okay, look.
Yeah. Come on, man.
I don't get how you're excited about the game. It's Metal Gear Solid 3. And it's coming back. Metal Gear Solid is fun.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. But why would they redo 3? They already put 3 on like newer systems. 3 came out on PlayStation 2, right? They also brought it on 360. They also brought it on PlayStation 3.
Snake Eater?
You want to know
Snake Eater.
Okay.
Yeah, but then they're redoing Snake Eater again. Now, Snake Eater was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It explained Big Boss's story in the depth.
It's good, but why not 4?
Yeah,
4 is stuck on friggin' 3.
Yeah,
on PlayStation 3. It is not on anything else.
Yeah,
I think people want to forget about that.
Well, with 4, I didn't hear 4 was bad.
4 wasn't bad.
5 is what I hear that people were not a big because that's when they kicked Kojima off, and they were like they took his name off the what you call it. That was 5.
Yeah.
Both Pain,
What was the one
Phantom
where
Pain, and
you hooked the balloons to him and
that was 5.
That was 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 was the one where you got Old Snake.
Yep.
And I didn't hear that one was bad at all.
Nah, it was.
I only played like
4.
half hour.
I played the hell out of it.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why that one is causing so much, excitement or whatever. Why didn't they redo part 1 in like those graphics? Why didn't they take part 2 in those graphics?
I would have loved to have seen part 1
it's
in those graphics. Yes.
I mean, 3. Even though it's PlayStation 2, 3 looked amazing.
Yeah,
it looked great.
Yeah, Snake.
So,
yeah.
You know what looked amazing? Is that James Bond game?
I didn't look at that.
I mean James Bond Jr. because that dude looked way young.
He did look young.
He looked young.
Is it first person shooter?
The origin, essentially, yes.
Oh, it's a third person.
So
Okay.
third person.
Then I can get behind it a little more.
It's a third person. I'm not sure it's going to be. I don't think it'll be open world. I think it'll be stage driven because it's more cinematic experience
For sure.
I think it'll be good. Other Steve brings up a game that he's excited for, the Final Fantasy Tactics remake that they're doing, which I think. Y'all know me. I've never been a fan of tactics games. Tactics. One of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. I loved Tactics.
It's just like, oh wait, I gotta control where I gotta move in order to hit you in a certain way.
I mean, you've been waiting for what the turn-based RPGs. There you go.
I never said that.
I could have swore you said that.
I was saying that people who are complaining there's no turn-based RPGs, it's like, play the ones you haven't played and look a little bit harder because they're out there. And specifically that one that just came out and everybody's raving about that Claire Obscure 33 or whatever, Expedition or whatever it's called.
Expedition 33,
yeah, it's a freaking turn-based.
Yeah.
And like people, there's no turn-based. They turn everything action adventure. It's like, I just thought people need to shut up.
Yeah, but no, that the James Bond game got me excited.
Bloodstain. Bloodstain 2, or it's not really 2, but I like the Bloodstain because I like Metroidvania.
That's I was gonna say it's a Metroidvania. Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Metroidvania.
That Romeo Dead Man looked interesting. That kind of reminded me of a combination of like
Romeo's a Dead Man.
Yeah, Romeo's a Dead Man.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Chainsaw Light Pop and Dead Rising. Kind of how it
mixed together.
Yeah, mixed together. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, there was a lot of games coming out of that State of Play. I think setting the stage for PlayStation to do pretty well over the rest of this year, because there's a couple of things that have demos right now. Neo's got a demo that's available right now.
Don't forget about the trailer for Yote.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see much in the way of new gameplay in that Yote trailer.
It was mostly just like
right,
like this. Oh yeah, this is pretty. To show you like just like
exactly
nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't get excited about that. I was already excited about the game anyway, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of games that we're looking forward to. I would love to hear from you guys also what other games you're looking forward to as well in the comments. But obviously we know the Switch 2 drops this tonight, 12 p.m. Probably people waiting in line to get pick theirs up right now
for sure
at GameStop. You're getting yours shipped to you.
Yeah.
You're expecting to get it tomorrow. Now, does it come with any games?
I did get the Mario Kart one.
Okay, you got the Mario Kart
because like you'd be an idiot not to get it. Oh, I'm complaining about $80 games. Well, then it's $50 right there for you. But the Switch is $50, and then I just hate that it's not physical. I miss physical pack-ins, but it's never coming back. Even if they're really
probably not. Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. So what other launch titles are there for the Switch besides just Mario Kart?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I really don't know because like I wasn't even the Donkey Kong should have been a launch game, but I don't know if that would take away from Steam from Mario Kart or whatever. Donkey Kong comes out like next month.
I've never understood that philosophy of saying that. Oh well, we can't release this game concurrently because it's gonna take away from this. You can either buy both or buy the one that you're really most excited for.
I don't
get that.
I don't have the reason for it either because if Donkey Kong would have came out, that'd have been my other game. Because that looks like something. First up, like I said, I like platformers. I like 3D platformers, 2D platformers, whatever. It's a platformer. But this Donkey Kong game looks more fun than the last time they did a 3D one. What I mean by that is Donkey Kong 64, which to me was not. I don't collectathons that. It gets a little bit boring after a while, but like I like platformers. But if I have to go through 1,000,000 levels and you got to connect all the coins and all the bananas and all the special trinkets and all, I'm like, you know what?
You got it.
You can do 1 or 2, but not 5. Like that and Banjo-Kazooie is just too much stuff to collect. I'm good on that. But
so then, talking to the Switch 2, what are you looking forward to the most when you get it? Like, well, I mean, obviously you were gonna buy one anyway, but.
The Binding of Isaac.
Oh my God! This again?
Yep.
Jesus.
I'm looking forward to seeing if it's gonna, because there's certain parts where it gets a little bit rambunctious and the frame rate slows down a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing if that frame rate stays there. That's what I'm looking forward to. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's what my expectation.
I bought a new Switch so I could play an old game.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I got a lot of games for my Switch. And not all of them are wet my whistle. Like I know you love Cyberpunk.
I do.
And Cyberpunk right now at the moment is not something I would dive into because I'm still trying to finish Grand Theft Auto 4, and that's a large game to sink your teeth in.
First of all,
by the time I probably get ready for Cyberpunk, it's gonna be cheap.
First of all, can we say how amazing it is that a game like Cyberpunk is going to be able to be on a Switch too? Like, that,
well, people are dismissing the Switch because it's a Switch.
PS4 graphics, right?
Well, the Switch, according to what they were showing,
PS4 Pro, I think.
It's supposedly as powerful as PS4, but they were comparing it to PlayStation 5, and it was looking pretty good.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it's amazing that a game of that size and that scale is, being able to be played on the Switch too. That's pretty amazing. I have to give
but why though?
What do you mean why?
I mean, you don't feel that's a game that deserves a bigger screen?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I 1,000% do.
Well, you play it on your TV then.
Right. And you can put it in your dock, but you know me. If it's going to be something of that visual spectacle, I want all the bells and whistles.
That's what I was trying to.
I want all the bells and whistles.
See, and that's one thing that we could talk about forever. Right. I don't even understand. Oh, that little bit blade of grass.
Yeah, I want all of it.
You're not even looking at it.
All of it.
I do look at the grass.
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying you don't look at the graphics. Is what I'm saying is this: if the frame rate is consistent, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If the freaking what's that new thing that they're talking about? The ray tracing is not turned on. Pretty sure you're not gonna give a fuck if it's freaking 60 frames a second. If you're going down there and you mowing down motherfuckers like you do in your games, and it's 60 frames a second, if the ray tracing, that puddle over there is not reflecting, you ain't giving a shit. That's what the ray tracing is for.
Most of the time,
that's what I'm talking about.
Most of the time, like that, I would turn off just because
that's what I'm talking about.
But if I'm cruising around Night City, I'm like literally just marveling at the visuals. Like, man, this is really it's so immersive, bro.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Like another game that was on Switch 2, or not Switch 2, excuse me, throwing it back to State of Play. PlayStation VR, that Thief game from Eidos. There's a Thief VR that's getting ready to come out, and I've always said, if Cyberpunk, if that was ever able to be on the VR and the Oculus,
I don't know. I don't want to vomit all over the place.
You would.
I like reality. Look at this.
But
look at this.
Touch it. Let's get him a pair of tactile gloves.
Like, you gotta do that'll
solve everything.
You put the things on to do what I just did.
Yeah.
Virtual reality. I can do it for look at the water physics.
But y'all know how I feel about that VR shit. Y'all, they not getting me.
Why?
Order online, man.
Sword Art Online?
Okay. I ain't not getting trapped.
It's not a full dive machine, bruh.
I'm not getting trapped.
Okay,
Fuck that,
all
man.
right. But no, the Cyberpunk would be amazing in VR. I digress. All right, let's move on.
Yes.
The state of play, we'll come back to that. Obviously, we'd love to, we can't wait for a lot of these games to get ready to come out, but I want to move on to movies. So in the summer, we know there's 2 Titanic movies coming out this summer.
Jurassic Park, yes.
I don't understand the hype about the dinosaurs.
Either, man. Yeah, man. It's like the
I used to, but
new
not
Tyrannosaurus,
just-
man.
yeah,
Come
not
on, man.
Chill, man. Chill. No.
Oh, okay. I'm
Chill.
sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
a new trailer for Fantastic Four dropped today, announcing that tickets will go on sale today.
They said AMC, the site broke.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're saying
Really?
the
That many
websites
people.
are breaking.
Well, we needed to freaking buy our tickets.
we need to
'cause
get
I saw it
that.
at 10
right?
p.m.
We
Super
also need to
AMA.
make sure we can get our hands on one of them Galactus buckets. The Galactus
Sure.
popcorn bucket. That boy is like this tall, like in,
17 inches.
17 inches, man, and his
Did you
eyes
get his
that's
yet?
gonna be great. But thinking about this summer,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four comes out 2 weeks after Superman. The hype for Superman, the hype train for Superman is building. They just released all the character posters. Everybody's got one. Metamorpho, Superman Robot number 4, Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner, Lex Luthor. Everybody's getting one. The engineer,
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific has one as well. Yes.
Easy.
Yeah, he does have one as well. So I want to ask you guys, based on the hype that has been building for both of these movies, which one do you think is going to have the better box office and why?
Pedro Pascal is on a heater right now,
Yeah.
and people are irate that he wasn't in the rest of those episodes
Oh, Last of Us?
The Last of Us. So in their love of him, they are going to buy the tickets so they can see young Pascal again. Because for whatever reason, I mean, obviously people think he's a great looking guy, but he is rolling.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And the Superman thing, like, people are going to go see Superman. It's Superman. But you have a ensemble cast, which is more reason, to go see.
Are we talking Fantastic Four or Superman?
Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Like a cast that people want to see. And I'm not necessarily saying it like that, but you have old boy from
The Bear.
From The Bear.
Yeah.
You have
Even Mouse
old boy
Back.
from Stranger Things.
Yep.
You've got the glorious Vanessa Kirby, and then you got Pedro Pascal, as opposed to, we don't know who this guy is, the black guy from this, the guy who's the voice of Hal Jordan.
Oh man,
I'm
this is such slander, man. But
it's the
you're
truth.
giving your point. You're giving your opinion. I got
but
you.
I'm
man.
saying to a regular person,
Okay.
that's how they're gonna look at it. They don't know who those people are.
All right. You don't think the trailer might have something to do with it? You don't think crypto might have something to do with it?
Crypto.
I mean, yeah, you'll get some dog
I'm gonna go
lovers
see
for
it
sure.
for the dog.
Hey,
some people, yeah.
do not
People do
do
love
not
people
discount
love
that.
dogs.
Yeah.
I know. I think they're a little bit weird.
I mean,
I said it.
Hey, I don't,
oh,
Some of
man.
these people be letting the dogs lick them on the face.
no.
A little weird.
I'm not gonna. I'm one of them weird people. I can do it too, but whatever. All right.
Your dog kissed you in the face?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and go to the next.
Next person, Simon says, "What do you think? Which one think is going to do better?"
I think they both do well. I mean,
I said I didn't ask you that. Which one will do better?
What's better, a billion?
No. I'm just saying
Just
who will
more.
do better.
So,
Just more.
so why don't we just shoot for it then? Which one will hit a billion first?
I can't.
I don't
say.
think either one
I
of
don't
them
think
hit the
either one's
billion.
gonna do it.
yeah, because
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think
If
either one.
Sinners is at 400, one of them should get close to.
No, I don't think so.
Here's the
I don't
problem.
think so.
Here's the problem. Unlike us, the normies out there, and there are, think that there's superhero fatigue, and with saying that they're
That's
not
a real
coming.
thing, yeah.
I don't
that's a real
think
thing.
it.
Go ahead.
Again, I don't think it because I enjoy these movies.
Yeah, for sure.
As much as I enjoy action movie,
Right.
it's like, dude, action movie fatigue? No, huh? No, I don't get that. I like watching certain types of movies, regardless of their genre. If it's an action movie, if it's comic movies, drama, what have you. If I like those, I'm gonna watch them as much as I want because
For sure.
it's giving me something that I like. But the normies out there will get tired of stuff, as you can see with Captain America and as you can see with Thunderbolts, because had those movies come out a few years ago, maybe not COVID times, but a few years ago, I think they would have done numbers period. More numbers than what they did. I think more people would have gone to see them, because also the whole thing with people not going to the theaters anymore from streaming. And I have to say, I hate to say that, I love movies.
Yeah.
But my love to go to the movies has been waning, because of the last few times I've gone, I went to go see Sinners, and the first showing of the day, you had people in there on their damn cell phones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
First showing of the day, I'm talking about bright as shit cell phones. You know, I'm hearing somebody snoring in the friggin' theater. I'm like, why you coming to friggin' theater? You're gonna fall asleep and you snoring. And then it was just my experience is becoming tarnished because of people who do not have the etiquette of movie watchers.
You sound like Martin Scorsese
That's
right
what he
now.
Said.
That's literally what he said today. But anyway, getting back to your point, what you were talking about, which one do you think is going to do better in the box office this summer?
I'm gonna say I actually want Superman to do well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want Superman to do better.
Yeah.
You have no real stake.
Look, I don't. Of course, I don't have a stake, and I'm gonna go see both of them.
Right.
For sure. I want both of them.
But
to do
based
well.
off of
but
what
which
you've
one's
seen.
gonna do better?
Yeah.
I think the Marvel brand is gonna do better, because, as I just spoke of the tiredness, Marvel is still in most people's zeitgeist, or whatever you want to call it, where it's there. But DC has failed so many times that people are like, besides the crew, like people like us,
Right.
a lot of them, I think majority of them, are not going to be like, oh, another DC movie, because they don't think like this is a new thing. They probably think it's like a continuation.
Right.
Who knows what they think? I don't know.
Right.
So we're just going to have to see. I want Superman for people to go see it. And I want them to be like, hey, DC's coming back. Maybe, Marvel's time is in the sunset, and DC is, got that sunrise going. But at the moment, I still think it's going to be Marvel, just because a lot of people have a lot of stuff invested in Marvel, specifically if you went to go see the Thunderbolts and everything in the past, because and what's coming with the future with the new Avengers movies.
Yeah, I just highlighted the message from Marcus A64 that pretty much corroborates what you're saying, is that Marvel has the track record and DC doesn't really have it. Whereas, MK Prior 12 was saying he thinks Superman is going to do really well because there's a renewed sense of hope or optimism for the DC brand. And it looks like, based off of all the responses that we've been getting out there on social media and the promotional press, that DCU is building towards something, whereas Marvel, you kind of already know what you got. So it's almost like you have a curiosity of the unknown, right? Yeah. So I could see that. For my money, I kind of believe Superman's going to do a little bit better.
No, the whole world knew that.
Oh, don't be like, yes, this is my Superman bias, maybe talking.
Exactly.
Maybe, but I'm being very practical, and basically off the reception that I've been seeing from the trailers that have come out, the positivity of crypto being included in this movie, just everything about it just seems to be leading towards something really big, and I think it's tracking towards.
But you don't think it'll touch $1 billion?
I do not think it'll touch $1 billion. I do not.
How much you think it costs to make?
So I could,
How much do you think it costs for them
to make it?
Yes.
I don't know for sure. If I had to ballpark, it'd probably be somewhere around 200, 250.
So it have to do at least 7.
I think it could probably do. I think it could do 6 and be okay.
That's not
right, and that's global.
That's not good.
I think that's
for a Superman movie.
So
600, including global box office.
I hear you, but you have to factor in the damage that the Snyderverse had done to the DC brand, and people may be kind of on the fence and want to wait to kind of really be able to see it. Can I really trust this thing?
So then you saying that you think Fantastic Four will be high fives then?
And that is partially because Marvel's recent track record in the box office, right? With the Thunderbolts, and plus the Fantastic Four has not been a strong IP in the theaters thus far. So factoring all of that in, I do think Fantastic Four is going to perform a little bit worse.
So both would be a failure then.
I don't consider them failures.
That would be,
I don't consider them failures. If they don't make $1 billion, that doesn't mean they failed.
You said 5. That's a failure.
I don't think that's a failure.
If you look at the track
money.
record of their movies, that would be bad.
I don't.
So the numbers, that would
you
be
consider
bad.
like, look, Captain America: Brave New World made I forget what the exact figure was, but I think it was close to $400 million on a budget of less than 200. So that it made double its money. In a realistic world, that is not that is not a failure. It's a successful movie. It may be down from their previous history, yes,
that would
but
then
you have
be
to
a failure.
factor in too that what we have today in the theater, as far as like people's enthusiasm, excitement for going to the theater. This man just told you how much he can't stand going to the theater now.
That's because of the people. That's not because
exactly.
of the
And
movie.
there's a lot of
That's not
people
'cause
like
of the movie,
him,
though.
but there's a lot of people like him that feel that same way. Everybody's not you. You will go see it regardless. The people be damned because you will shut them out.
Yeah,
I'm the same way too, but we're not everybody.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I thought you had.
I was looking for their numbers real quick because I was very curious. That's the only reason I was pulling that up.
Yeah,
415 supposedly in the box office for Captain America.
For Captain America,
180.
Yeah, 180. See, so it
that's
well more over than his budget.
Right, but you got to include that's just box. That's not the promotion. That's almost a failure.
I mean,
I think you're being way too harsh.
They look
on
at
that.
Way
it,
too harsh.
Yeah,
the way they look at it nowadays.
That's a failure.
I don't think that's a failure, no.
If I'm in charge, if I'm in charge, that's because you're not in charge. If I'm in charge,
You ain't in charge either, but whatever. Go ahead.
yes,
Finish
I
your
am.
point.
I'm in charge of your body,
Yeah.
sir.
Wow.
I have you next
Hey, pause,
to that boy
bro.
of yours.
Pause,
I have
bro.
you next to that boy of yours. Listen though, if I'm Bob Iger.
Yeah.
And it's $1 billion, it's 8, it's 9,
Yeah.
it's 7, it's 8, it's 7, it's
are
8,
you-
it's 7, it's 8, it's 7. 4? No.
It is what it is.
And then it's time to
Thunderbolts
to
didn't make
to
it.
fix it.
Thunderbolts didn't make
it's
that
time
much
to-
money
then
either.
That's a failure.
I don't think that's a failure.
Go ahead.
I think that's
I was just looking at Civil War because was Civil War the last Captain America movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
$250 to make.
Uh-huh.
Right.
It made over $1 billion.
Yeah, 1.1.
Failure.
55.
If we're making
and they're
1.5
How many
billion,
years ago was
eyeballs?
that? How many years ago was
Sean,
that?
Meg Sean, I agree with you because in their eyeballs, that's what
as
they're
a
looking at.
business,
That's what they're looking
we
at.
can't go from
We're not looking at it
1.5
like
billion to 400 million. That's
That was pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
it is a
I
different
don't-
world.
I'm in charge. That's a
different
colossal
world,
loss.
man.
It is.
I'm telling
But
you.
it's different world.
It's not in
You
game.
think Bob
You are
Iger
saying
cares?
They don't care about that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a different
They're
world.
You
looking
think
at
Bob
numbers.
Iger
I think they
cares?
do.
You
I
think
think
Bob
they do.
Iger? That's how people are. That's why heads are rolling now. You think people? You know what? Yeah, I'll just take the 450 is cool. That's not what he's doing. That's why he came back because the numbers started to drop.
Dude, it's a Captain America movie. What did you expect it was going to do?
Can you pull up the
That
numbers
man
of what
just said
Captain America first
1.5 billion.
Avenger did? What did Captain America First Avenger do?
Let's go. To
Yes,
the
you're gonna
first
say
Avenger,
the
'cause
second.
because,
The
like,
I
second
went to
movie.
Winter
very
Soldier
first
because
one.
I wanted to see Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier. is
But what was the
different.
very first one?
The very first one. What did it gross?
The very first one.
What did it cost? What did it gross?
Yeah. what did it
First
cost?
Avenger.
Yep.
The first Avenger. This is according to Wikipedia. Now, mind you, Wikipedia can always
For sure.
Of course.
For sure.
you know,
Course,
be
course,
wrong and
course,
whatnot, but
course.
it's probably not. The first one was budget approximately, they say 140 to 216. They don't have an exact number. It's in those tweens. And the box office was 370.
That's a failure. If
For
20, when that
early
movie come
Marvel?
out? When that movie come
That
out?
movie came out
2008? No, 2010.
11.
Oh, 2011. Okay.
So almost 15 years ago, we made how much?
for that one was 370.
And then now here we are, only 100 million more after touching 1.5. Somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
Somebody's
The next
got to
movie
go.
did 7. The next movie did billion.
Somebody's got
And
to
then
go.
It's back down there. That I mean,
If
unfortunately,
that's
you
you in
you may
charge,
be a little positive
if
about
that's
that.
you
but
in charge, you're
realistically,
not
that's-
shrugging that off as
yeah,
a business
I don't-
owner.
I don't think so.
I don't agree because you can't do every game. You can't.
Not every movie is gonna be
No,
in
not
game.
every movie.
You're
Not every movie.
100. You're 100%
Not
true.
every movie's gonna do in game.
100% true. I'm not disagreeing with you about
Yeah.
that, and I'm not disagreeing with you about that. But I agree with you because
It's
if
a
you're
numbers
a business
game.
thing and you're in the numbers, if you see a drop off like that, you're not thinking how good the movie is. You're not thinking about anything. You're seeing the numbers. You're seeing 3, 7, bill,
And then back
4.
down.
You're going like that. You're going wait a minute.
Somebody got to go.
The business people always adjust their projections based
That's
on
why
what
y'all
the
out here
market,
buying $80
what the
popcorn buckets.
what the current market
Because
is.
the movies, because somebody got to make the money back. So y'all got to get $80 popcorn
I'm just
buckets.
saying, man.
Yeah,
It's a different world. They know what the market was. They knew what the market projections were, and these movies are hitting them. So, but still, I do not think Superman or Fantastic Four are going to reach $1 billion, but I do think Superman is going to perform slightly better. All right, let's move on. So the WWE. In the WWE, we saw that R-Truth got unceremoniously released. What was that? Was this Friday? this past Friday.
Yeah.
That it happened. To the surprise of damn near everybody. And since then, it seems like WWE is on a mission to scrub this man from existence. Like, they took down all of his merch. He wasn't signed to a Legends contract. Nothing. They're just like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So
and they fired Carlito too.
Yeah, they fired Carlito. We don't know what the hell is going on at WWE. What do you guys suspect? I've heard rumors, and you're more on the inside of the wrestling. You pay attention to more wrestling stuff than we do. But I've heard rumors that this had something to do with R-Truth was a holdover from the Vince McMahon days. Oh, yeah. And they just pretty much just let him run out his contract. And the instant that boy was over, they got him out of there.
Well, that's how they've been doing it. They've been certain wrestlers, they just let their contracts go out. They don't even like renew it. They just let their contracts run out and then not renew them, because they did that with a couple of wrestlers. I want to say Braun, but I think they outright just let him go. But they have been they've been doing that. That's been the new model. Instead of just like outright releasing them, they just let their contracts expire and then not even renew it. No, they did that with the MVP and Bobby Lashley. So they basically, and I'm not gonna say it because like a lot of people don't think it, but is it kind of weird that MVP, Bobby Lashley, and then R-Truth all the
black wrestlers?
Yeah. But I'm not saying that. But
I wonder if it was a couple of things, not necessarily that, but R-Truth, him being in his 50s, or because he's getting a big pop and he went in to get his contract renewed and was asking for more money because he's more popular than he's ever been. They're just like, man, we don't need you. Which I think is BS.
He wasn't involved in any storylines, was he?
The only storyline he was involved with was on that John Cena, Saturday Night Main Event.
The Ron Cena thing?
that was it. So they just, that was it. He lost, and after that, it was just goodbye.
So wait, it was Saturday Night's Main Event was this past Saturday.
Yeah.
He wrestled.
Yep.
And then he was cut the next day.
Yep.
That is crazy.
But here's the messed up part. Carlito is in the Judgment Day. He's actually in a storyline with an actual faction. So they let him go. That was kind of like, damn, how y'all explain
Whole
that?
world, man.
Yeah, it's kind of it's.
Is it though? I'm just saying, as far as R-Truth,
yeah.
Paul Levesque in his current, how long has it been since he's been running? Since Vince has been gone,
almost 2 years now.
So almost 2 years. Would you say he's been doing fairly well?
Oh yeah, without question.
So to dismiss a fan favorite as disrespectful as it was, and as just out of nowhere, I would, for me, not being as as knowledgeable about the WWE as yourself, but for me, given his track record, I would imagine that he has a reason to just cast out a fan favorite, so unceremoniously. Now, what it is, who knows? But I mean, he is from the old school, so so anything is possible.
Well, NK Pryor is bringing this up. He says, but they have to make room for the new breed, especially with them bringing in people from AEW, and with them getting AAA, they have a crap ton of people.
I don't think with that you can still send somebody off better than how they did and still bring in this new breed. I don't think this is a new breed thing. This is I think this is something behind the curtain.
I don't disagree with that.
Something behind the curtain, but because they could have made him a manager or something like that.
For sure, back in production, they could. For sure. I mean, they have a lot of roles they could add him to. I mean, they could give him a Legends deal. They could have given him a Legends deal. They could have had him basically a trainer. They could have sent him down to
NXT.
NXT, being a trainer. AAA. Yeah, I don't know about that because they're still. I think the deal is done, but I have seen a couple of wrestlers. Laredo Kid just showed up on NXT, and he's actually going to. I think it's going to be like that Worlds Collide I was talking about. They're going to do on NXT. Whether I think they're going to do. I want to say is a 4-way match with Ray Phoenix, Laredo Kid, and Ethan Page, and I think Javon Evans for the North American Championship. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting. There's like 3 dudes that can actually fly. These dudes are awesome. But other than that, I did see catch one of the Raws where Vikingo got involved, which I was like, oh shit, that's another dude that everyone got to look out for. That dude is awesome too. But as far as like what I was saying, for R-Truth, there's a lot of like wrestlers. They're really mad. They're not happy about it. The Miz, he unfollowed.
Yes,
because like them two were really besties, and yeah, it's just kind of a messed up thing because like the dude is funny. Ain't gonna lie, I think that was the only reason why Vince kept him around, because he was a funny guy. He can make any wrestler break character. It's so hilarious. If you guys want to see Brock Lesnar break character, go on YouTube and look that up. That's the funniest thing you'll ever see.
Okay. We don't know exactly what happened. We probably may never know what really happened. Well, we probably will know because they always get on some podcast and they always let it know. So I guess we'll just have to wait for R-Truth to actually be able to say his piece. I mean, he could have kind of said it on Twitter after when he made the tweet that he got let go.
Did he not say anything?
No, he didn't.
He just said,
he said thanks.
I just been released and thank you for all the years. Yeah,
right. That's all he said. He didn't say anything else. So I don't know. Out there in the chat, so Marcus A64 says, well, with both Truth and Carlito gone, they really don't have anyone to fill a comedy spot, which honestly might be the whole point. Maybe they're
don't want to be funny no more,
right? I mean, but with them trying to somewhat go back to the Attitude Era, you would think that they would want to have a little bit of comedic relief. Some dudes that are funny.
I mean, DX was a little bit, were they not?
Oh yeah, they were total clowns, man.
So, I mean, I don't know if it could be the comedic thing. I really do think it could be an age thing and they're trying to bring people up, and or something, like you said, happened behind the scenes. Or, I don't even want to say what. I don't think
oh, look who's here. GQ himself is sitting on a plane waiting for the captain.
You are the captain. Get up there and land that thing, man. Take off and land it.
Look at me. I'm the captain.
Yeah. You're supposed to be in airplane mode, man. Right. You're supposed to be like sitting there.
I mean, he's probably got Wi-Fi on airplane.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
It must be on a Delta flight.
Yeah. You know that. You know that.
They're first class.
You know that is.
First class.
Oh, and Amarak is here as well.
He said land that shit.
There you
go. So anyway, Dead Striker. Man. So, all right. So, we talked last week about, and this is regard to the T'Challa erasure comment, right? So we've had a lot, and I want to thank all of you guys out there that have been, watching all of our clips on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. You guys have been giving us great content to reply to and respond to. But a couple of things that when we put out the clip about the T'Challa erasure thing, we got a lot of very interesting comments, and people were bringing up some pretty good points. One of them is that they were contesting the whole point about T'Challa's not being erased. They don't necessarily agree with your opinion about T'Challa, appears to be getting erased. Because one of the commenters named Zia said they are not erasing him. People claim they're ready for a new one, Black Panther, until they get one, and then y'all try and measure him to Chadwick. Y'all are gonna not have.
First of all,
let me finish.
That ain't never been my blood.
Let me finish.
Chadwick.
Y'all are going to not have the movie do well because some are still stuck on Chad, and it all has to make sense.
So then he not talking to me. Because if anybody's talking to me, you can't never come at me talking about the motherfucking Chadwick.
There's your Megatron right there.
The books.
What's up, man?
Zia. It's a young lady.
Well, Zia, first of all, grab a book or play a game or something. Because Zia, I would never recast T'Challa, and here I fucking am. But listen, there's several Black talented actors that they could get to use him. I'm not referring to the erasure of T'Challa from the cinema, because T'Challa has been around for 30 years, long before Chadwick existed in anybody's mind. In the books, and somewhat in games, he's not being valued and he's not being respected like the character he is and like the character he once was. And currently, from a book standpoint, that is what that's what I'm referring to. As far as the MCU goes, recast him.
Yeah.
And again, I'd be the first in line.
Okay.
So no.
let me pivot because I think there's another point to bring up in this discussion. And part of the reason that we needed to consider the reason why he was not being recast. Some of this has to do, I feel, with Ryan Coogler and the relationship with Ryan Coogler, right? As we know now, after Sinners has become a big breakout hit for Warner Brothers, and he signed a ridiculous landmark deal.
Breakout hit, which tripled its money, unlike Captain America: Brave New World. But carry on, please.
Always trying to derail the conversation with some other nonsense. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that what do you say to the notion that perhaps the reason why Wakanda Forever was allowed to be what it is because it was meant to appease Ryan Coogler, to keep him in house, right? Okay. Because hypothetically speaking, not that I disagree with the recast T'Challa movement,
talking business
because I think this is purely from a business perspective. You're Kevin Feige, and you view Black Panther as the gold mine that we think it is, an untapped gold mine. But you have the death of the star, the star's director, almost like a brother to him, has great affinity for him. He's hurting, he's mourning. He says he wants to make a movie, but he wants to make it as a tribute to his late friend. You're Kevin Feige, you're at a crossroads. Do you let him make this movie and essentially shelf T'Challa the character for a certain amount of years? Or do you recast T'Challa and run the risk of Ryan Coogler saying, well, if you do this, I'm out the door. I'm closing the door to y'all. We'll never work again.
For one, I'm pretty sure there's a contract that you had to do at least 2 movies. And I guarantee you don't have money to box with me, Ryan. 1, 2.
So you would take that hardcore stance?
It's not a hardcore stance. Okay. The movie's called, it's The Black Panther. If you don't have a Black Panther, now granted, in the books they use his sister, but everything was fast forwarded with the unfortunate passing of Chadwick. Yeah, but you have to keep the party going.
I don't disagree,
because it's not about Ryan, it's not about Chadwick, it's about the people. Yeah, that movie made $1 billion because of the culture. Yeah. So then now, if you try to continue to milk the culture without the person they're there for, hence why it got the reviews that it got, which was kind of, because now you're forcing Namor on them, you're forcing Shuri on them, you're forcing Ironheart on them. Where is Chadwick? Well, not Chadwick. Where is T'Challa? That is who the people want. It is T'Challa. That was who they fell in love with. During the Civil War and the other movies, the Black Panther. So then if now you've allowed this man to put his feelings, over the billions of hundreds of thousands of people who were fans of that film. Yeah. No, just like in the decline, it's about the money. Okay. And then you had one made $1 billion and the other one, how much did the other one make?
About 8-10.
That's it.
But on what you're saying, because I agree with what I think should have happened, but what did not happen. Yeah. I really do think that, because it was a conversation that we had with Preem off camera, that Feige did that to appease Coogler. Yeah. Because
he's good. He's a great director.
Everything he touches is kind of like
100%.
What you call it. So he probably did that to keep him on board. He might have been under contract for the 2 movies.
But maybe after that contract was up,
and if you want him to do more, if you want to do
like X-Men or something like that, that door will be closed.
There's a possibility that they did that to appease Coogler, because I'm pretty sure it was his idea to do.
Which is wild though, for somebody to be so for the culture to then kind of kneecap the culture to a degree.
Maybe they got a plan. Maybe there's a plan.
Well, no, they had a plan. It was that kid,
the son,
supposedly.
Yeah, but then now that's not T'Challa, even though it is. But it's not.
Even though it is, but
it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It is, but it is.
It's
right.
So then now, what do? We go in the universe, and now he's 30. Then the next movie. You
I mean,
know,
it's only been what
he
3
go
years.
Through, he can go through the Lionel stage.
yeah, you know what I
maybe,
mean.
No,
maybe that's gonna happen.
Here's what they could have done. Like, you read the comic books. There was one comic book where T'Challa was in a coma.
Yeah, because he got punched in the head by Iron Fist.
And that's what I thought they were going to do with Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, they could have did that, and then like, hey, put him on the shelf.
They're not reading the books.
Yeah,
they don't know.
I'm telling you, maybe they read the books, but again, I think they did it to appease.
Which is something I never thought of. Which to me is still, that's kind of worse.
But you can understand it, right?
No, because it's not. Just like when we had the conversation in regards to The Last of Us, I'm not putting one person over another million people. Mm-hmm. That's not how it's worked. That's not how business is ran. Mm-hmm. Because now you have a movie that people didn't necessarily care for, and I would imagine that it made that 8-10 because people didn't know what they were going to see. Mm-hmm. If people knew what they were going to see, it probably would have made 475.
No, what I think it is it made that much because everybody that went to go see the first one went to go see the second one, but they didn't go see it again because a lot of people went to go see the first one multiple times.
Yeah.
Right, because now you're playing in our face.
Yeah,
exactly.
First of all, and then you kill his mother off. What are we doing here?
Yeah, man.
I wish I could tell you.
And she got robbed of that Oscar. She should have won that boy.
I think she should have definitely won.
She should have won that boy.
But it is movies. It is fiction.
For sure.
They could do a multitude of things.
100%.
They could 100% say that movie was another universe.
They could.
They could 100% do that.
They could.
But I doubted they do that.
Okay.
There you go right there.
Marcus 664 said, well, Doomsday and Secret Wars is a way to recast the Black Panther. Which, again, we know that's probably what they're going to do.
Because
right?
they probably realize, like, damn.
They know they can't keep T'Challa on the shelf forever. They got to bring him back.
Yeah.
And yes, we knew this is where they probably were going to do it. But that's beside the point.
And then hold the phone again, real quick. How many black male characters are there in Marvel?
Black
MCU
characters?
Yeah, so like Goliath. I know you've got Black Goliath.
Like lead hero types,
Period,
right?
yeah.
It's really T'Challa and Sam. That's it.
So even more reason.
Miles now too.
Well, yeah.
But,
What about Luke?
Huh? Oh, Luke Cage. Yeah, Luke Cage too. Okay.
Blade.
But who's close to his level?
Nobody.
So now,
Nobody.
So that's
no.
Well, Blue Marvel.
Blue Marvel.
Blue Marvel ain't no Black Panther.
Well, I mean,
Come on now.
No, Blue Marvel would probably
Blue Marvel is
beat the brakes off of everybody.
No, he's a. No. I thought you were talking about like popularity.
Yes.
Okay.
I apologize.
That's different.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So in that regard,
yes,
you fucking recast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Even
I
just
agree.
for the culture. Like
Right.
I get that was your friend.
Yes.
I get y'all bonded. I truly do respect it.
Right. Yeah.
But he's not bigger than the people. Mm-hmm. Nobody will ever be bigger than the people.
Right. So one other thing I want to touch on, and this is out of TikTok. There's another TikTok comment, and then I'll go to YouTube actually and pick out another one
for sure.
But from this is speaking about the disappointment about the Hulk being rumored to be a part of Spider-Man 4, and I've been hearing this is the first time I've ever heard this rumor. Yeah. These people are peddling around the rumor or stating that. This comes from Gabe Estrada. He's like, I believe it's in the contract, the contract with Sony and Marvel. Mm-hmm. I believe it's in the contract that there needs to be an MCU actor in each Sony Spider-Man film.
I mean, makes kind of sense.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
I mean, yeah, because I mean,
if they're trying to keep that connection,
yeah. Because
okay.
You would think about it, because like Sony's trying to like get the money from Marvel and not. Mm-hmm. They're reaping the benefits, but then Marvel is like, "Hey, what about us? We helping you out."
But isn't it odd that there's been nothing published of the sort in that way?
Yeah,
this rumor started, and I'm just going on record because we're on the show, and this is going to be played back in the clip. Mm-hmm. These people get their rumors from YouTube content creators. This is not coming from the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
This is not coming from Variety. Deadline, anybody of any repute. It's always coming from the content creators. Yeah. Why? Because they got to stir up shit. Because they don't believe that Sony would let Marvel help them produce a movie without one of their MCU stars. Because They wanted to throw Iron Man in the first one.
Yeah.
They threw
Nick Fury.
They threw Nick Fury in the second one. They threw Doctor Strange in the third one, right?
Yep.
So you can understand why they would think this way. Yeah. But there is nothing contractually obligating them to put an MCU star.
Again, it's speculation and rumors, or
correct.
Not rumors, but like nothing concrete.
It sounds plausible, but and I still believe that they don't need a Hulk to be in Spider-Man 4. I believe he can stand on his own.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it, but I just don't love it either.
I just wanted to, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
MK Pryor.
Read the comment.
It's like I'm speaking ill of.
Read the comment.
Says, but the problem with the recast is he will have to live up to Chadwick. Then people will say they should not have recasted him. I disagree. I feel it was just the image of finally seeing a black man being the head and having that suit on. The majority of the world that made this film $1 billion had no clue before. But once you put it on the screen and you advertise it, the culture showed up. So as long as whoever they cast, as long as they're, fairly in shape, a good looking and worth their salt as a thespian, it would be, business as usual and probably be better received. Because if you're asking me, never mind.
Hell, put it this way: they could have did a flip of a coin and did the roles reversal. They could have had Michael B. Jordan playing T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman playing Killmonger. Simple as that.
Damson Idris could have done it before.
Man,
Chadwick.
I thought he was going to be
easy. So it would be easy.
My man, yeah.
Obviously, yours truly.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, if they're rumored about making The Last Dragon, that's cool. As long as Deion Cole is show enough.
Exactly.
Hey.
For sure.
Yeah. It's got to be that. All right, so Dido, I want you to address this one, even though you weren't on the show last week. This one comes from YouTube Shorts, and it's from MNZ 77775. It's coming out of YouTube. Concerning Solo Leveling versus manga, why I couldn't sleep. Solo Leveling writing is subpar at best. The show, it's entertaining for sure, but from being an actual good anime, it's okay. What do you say to that?
Everybody loves it because of the action. When it comes to the writing, what's the story?
There's a man who's had died for his friends, and he had heart. And then from that moment,
that's not the story. What's the story?
That is, because there's more to it.
Yeah.
But it's him finding out about himself, finding himself, leveling up.
He was doing a job because he wants to pay for his mom's
sickness.
And
I was getting to that, but go ahead.
But you're being long-winded, but go ahead, man.
And with saying that,
yeah.
Now, I love Solo Leveling, don't get me wrong, because after I watched the first season, I went and started reading all the friggin' manhwa as well. And I started to try to go through it as fast as I could. Then I kind of like burnt myself out. Then I had to come back to it.
I'm long-winded?
It happened. No, I am very long-winded.
I'm not messing with you. I'm just him.
You can call me LW. But
no, that's good.
The whole thing is like, okay, when it comes to story, now I personally didn't have a problem with this episode, but the episode where his mom, and he did everything that he could to get his mom to come out of her coma or whatever she was in.
When he gave her the potion or whatever.
Exactly.
For sure.
People said that was the worst episode of the whole thing, but that was the whole one that had the emotion in it.
Yes.
The whole one that had the story in it.
For sure.
Yes.
Everything else is action, 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 and that's all what people want.
Yes.
So with saying that,
same thing with Dragon Ball. Like, what are we talking about here?
So we're saying that the story is very
got them filler
light.
episodes.
It is a very light story. I still enjoy it. I like seeing when people are either OP in their universes, because I watch a lot of anime where the main character becomes OP.
Yeah.
And though they have a little bit of struggle, they still come on top. I like watching stuff like that. But to say that it has a really great story, nah, I disagree that it's great. I think the story is kind of meh.
For me, it was great, because you know what I don't want to see? I don't have time. It's too much, too many games to play, too many movies to watch, too many shows to watch for me to add something else when I know if I get this, action, 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 story, action, 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 with a splash of story. For me.
I mean, you do get that, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I won't go and say like, but I'm also the person that don't think that Attack on Titan was a great written show. I think it was really
Oh
boring.
yeah, he couldn't stand that
And
show.
I watched every single episode, and I'm not going to be like one of those people, I watch an episode, this show sucks. I watched every single episode, and I can point out to you why I think that it took, up until like season 3 or 4, where they didn't even tell you what the hell is going on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this? Yes, you got these armies. Yes, you're going against Titans. And keep asking questions and not answer them. Like, what the fuck is going on? Now, Solo Leveling doesn't have that problem at all. You see what you get. It's a WYSIWYG.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get, and you get some good friggin' action. What's going on? But when it comes to character development, from the beginning to how he is now, after he becomes his power, he basically doesn't really change much.
No.
When it comes to his character. And seeing him like having relationships with other people, it's going to be very light because he's actually going to, Mama Chaz, I think they called her on TikTok, Drippy Woo and Mama Cha, people were calling the two people because it was just kind of funny. Anyway, because he's always dripping with that aura. Drippy Woo.
He is dripping.
Yeah,
Drippy Woo, yeah.
But like the like you don't really see him go after, they just kind of like get together because they're supposed to be together. But he didn't actually like really seemed like he wanted to like her and be with her and stuff like that. That would be something that would be storytelling, but it's not that.
Oh
type
yeah,
of story.
she was feeding for him because because he didn't stink like the other.
Yeah, he
like
not
the other
only
hunters.
didn't stink, but he did
He's got
save
the
her
swag.
life and all
Yeah,
that.
he saved her life.
He's a god at this point.
Essentially, yes, yes, he is.
Pretty much.
100%.
So I like Solo Leveling. I don't think the story is deep at all. It is
Oh, no.
surface level Dragon Ball type story. I'd agree
Now,
with that.
MK Prior 2 does 12 brings up. He says the light novel is better because they cut out a lot from that.
They do that
as well.
They do that
So
with all the anime.
there's a lot of things that they make. They make concessions for the anime to basically move it along, to keep it moving. The drip is always in anime lately because they had it in Noblesse and other series too. MK Prior says as well. Now, we're a little bit over, but I do want to let anybody out there, if there's anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we left out. Do you guys got anything that you wanted to, things that we overlooked, things you wanted to bring up?
Well, maybe
anything?
do it next week. Talk about Last of Us and its
Let's talk
drop
about-
off of viewership to a degree.
Well, we can talk about that next week, yes. But let's talk real quick about that tech demo for The Witcher 4.
Greatness.
Yes, The Witcher 4 tech demo.
I need to look at it.
Greatness.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, because after work,
Greatness.
I was flipping through the stuff that I wanted to watch before the show, and I'm like, oh, this is Witcher 4 tech demo. And as soon as I see tech demo, I'm like, oh, this is not gameplay. So I just move on because they had a whole bunch of Unreal. It was like Unreal Engine Fortnite stuff.
I think it was 5.
And that was
Oh
yesterday.
yeah,
Unreal 5.
Yeah,
was it Unreal 5?
Fortnite,
Right?
and I was like,
yeah. No. I
want to
I
see
hear
the
you.
game.
I do want to
what's
see game
coming
too.
up.
I want to see game too.
Because
what
when
I mean.
Bloodstain showed and it said this is not gameplay, I was like, what is not gameplay? This cutscene or all of what I'm watching? So it's kind of when I started to get light. I was like, show me gameplay. That's I want to see gameplay. I was watching trailers with Preem the other day, and not one piece of gameplay for this one game. I don't remember what the game. I was like, you know what? You lost my interest. 100%.
Just 'cause you ain't showing me no gameplay?
Because
Yeah.
today is no excuse not to show gameplay.
If you got the cinematics, you should be able to show something,
Yeah.
For sure.
right?
He had a PlayStation controller in his hand or something, so that's a
Right.
gameplay to me.
To me,
I mean, you can have a damn control in your hand.
To
and bitch ain't
me,
even on.
It might not have been on.
Now I know the tech demo was all about the technology and the realism they're doing, the graphics, like being able to put like each individual blade of a pine
they
cone
using
tray.
nanites, man.
Yeah, they're using nanites
using
to
nanites.
basically
You know what?
create the
And-
foliage and
and I
all this
can-
other kind of stuff. And
I can tell
was
you
just
exactly
like,
why that tech demo stuff is that. Remember a little tech demo? 2 of them, in fact. Got 2. One for the GameCube. It was a Zelda one. And
I remember
Final
that one.
Fantasy
I remember
VII.
the Zelda
that.
one with Link and Ganon.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And
Bro.
Final Fantasy VII tech demo for PlayStation 3. And I was
Man.
like, after that, I'm like,
Yes.
man, tech demo. You show me game, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
But I mean, I hear you,
Know what I mean?
but this was being run on a PS5.
That's cool.
It looked
It probably looked
amazing.
And I'll watch it now that you guys are recommending
Yes,
it. But
it looked
still,
amazing.
I just
Amazing.
show me
Amazing.
gameplay or show me nothing.
And now I do wonder
I agree with that.
if we gonna get the same old fools out there talking about Well, basically the main game you're playing is Siri. I don't want to play as Siri. I want to play as Geralt.
Yeah, they're gonna be there, most definitely.
You know they're gonna be there, man.
Of course.
And they can't even and there wouldn't even be any conversation about DEI because she was in the last game 12 years ago.
Correct. As a sometime playable character.
So, but as you said, it's going to happen.
Right.
For sure.
These are the same fools that will run around playing as Lara Croft all the time.
That's
because she got big old polygon knockers.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, ooh. Did you know that was a mistake?
Yes, I knew that was a mistake. Yes.
We know it was a mistake. They inputted the wrong coordinates or something in there and just boop, and they just left it.
Right.
Could you imagine had they not did that?
Because I thought it would be They thought it would be a fun gag.
Yeah, they think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
That's why they shrank her when they remade her because they put her back to how.
Oh, and the outrage was the outrage was palpable.
I'm like,
That motherfucker was just like,
it's a video game, bro.
Where did her boobs go?
Who cares? Fuck. You go to some friggin' sites on the internet, man, and see all the boobs you want. Who cares?
Yeah, man.
You got any you like in particular?
For me? Are you talking about video game boobs or real life boobs?
I'm just messing around.
I don't know any of their names.
I'm just messing around.
They got faces.
I'm just messing around.
They got faces?
And on that note, I think we can wrap up the show. Thank you all for joining us for this week on Culture Junkies Live. We'll be back next week to talk about some other cool anime, comic, game, movie stuff. We'll also bring our review of Ballerina because that comes out this weekend.
Yeah,
Ballerina comes out this weekend.
I'll be there. I saw Tom Cruise making a post, and it was a Ballerina poster, and it was he said, "Make sure your weekend is action packed." I said, "Tom, say no more."
Yeah, I will be there 100%. Make sure you come back and talk about that. Next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, Culture Junkies Live for my friends, the Great Atakushi.
Hold on. Go to him.
Simon Says, and
tell
I'm
Terry
Kashiro.
Crews.
We'll see you guys.
You tell Terry Crews. You go in there, you get Terry. There's only one T'Challa in this town.
Right.
It ain't big enough for the both of us, Terry.
I'm Kashiro. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, man.
All right.